Tonight on KGW News, an alleged dog napper caught on camera.
I don't think he was aware of what he was doing.
The bizarre encounter that left a Portland man searching for his stolen pet. Plus, the landmark Supreme Court ruling that could change how cities respond to homelessness.
We do see this as like the first chipping away at the rights that we've worked so hard for.
But first, a stretch of interstate shut down for miles, how to avoid I-5 and get through the weekend without getting stuck in the gridlock. And we begin with a live look tonight at I-5, where you can see a line of ODOT vehicles that have the interstate closed in both directions at Southwest Capitol Highway. This is the southern end of a 4-mile shutdown that'll impact traffic on the critical West Coast artery that links Mexico to Canada all the way through Monday morning. Good evening and welcome to Detour City. I'm David Molko. ODOT is warning drivers to prepare for traffic jams through the stretch of Southwest Portland and on detour routes, which, let's face it, now include many of our major highways. Let's get right to Catherine Cook. She's live along I-5 with what you need to know. Catherine?
David, this closure is going to impact a lot of people. It already has. As of 9 p.m. tonight, I-5 north and south both closed between Terwilliger Boulevard and Capitol Highway. Also, several on-ramps now closed, including the one behind me at Spring Garden Street. ODOT says they're going to need the freeway without cars to repair a freeway overpass. In Southwest Portland, Interstate 5 is now closed in both directions for 4 miles and will be until early Monday morning. Neighbors like Daryl.
Yeah, it will impact me because I live right up the road here.
And Clayton.
I've been looking online at the routes to get around this closure.
Have been anticipating the closure for a while. At 9 p.m. Friday night, ODOT closed I-5 north and south between Terwilliger Boulevard and Capitol Highway.
That's going to change things.
They also closed several on-ramps beyond that 4-mile stretch. That means you won't be able to get onto I-5 South starting at the 405 ramp near downtown Portland. And for those headed north, on-ramps will close starting at Cruz Way in Lake Oswego. The reason for all this? ODOT is replacing the I-5 bridge over Southwest 26th Avenue. They've already built this new support structure. Now, crews will replace the bridge deck and pave it.
So once we get it done, it should be a nice, smooth ride over the top.
ODOT spokesperson Don Hamilton says this overpass is a high-traffic spot built back in 1959.
It's reaching the end of its useful life. It's old, it sees 100,000 cars a day, and it's not seismically resilient as we want our system to be, and it needs replacing.
To get around the I-5 closure, ODOT says there are several options. Detours include I-205, 217 to Highway 26, as well as 99W and Barber Boulevard. The key, they say, will be planning ahead and building in extra travel time.
It's going to add at least 20 minutes to my drive, probably more.
'Tis the season
Yes,
of summer road projects.
they're everywhere.
They sure are. Again, we cannot stress enough the importance of planning ahead. Maybe you're heading out of town early for the 4th of July holiday, or maybe you're heading to Eugene for the Olympic trials. Just remember, these detours, they are going to make a big difference. David, back to you.
Yeah, one small overpass and lots of big headaches. Thank you, Catherine. By the way, in case you need to slow those details down to a crawl to avoid getting caught up in one, we've got you covered with a second look at all the maps and detours. It's all up for you now at KGW.com. Developing tonight, a man is in the hospital following a shooting involving Clackamas County Sheriff's deputies. This started just before 6:30 this evening when deputies responded to reports of a stolen vehicle. Officers then tracked the car to a Kaiser Permanente Sunnyside Medical Center parking structure. That is where deputies and Portland police say they found the vehicle with 3 people inside. They say the driver started ramming multiple responding patrol cars. A deputy then shot the driver, who was taken to the hospital in stable condition. No one else was hurt. The deputy involved is now on paid administrative leave. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, the Hood River Bridge will remain closed until at least Sunday after a semi-truck carrying an excavator hit part of the bridge structure Thursday, shutting it down. The Port of Hood River says it's now working with an engineering firm on repairs and plans to have the next update after a meeting Sunday morning. For now, that means drivers looking across the Columbia will have to head to either Cascade Locks or the Dalles. A high fire danger burn ban is set to go into effect Monday in Washington County. Starting July 1st, most outdoor burning will be prohibited, including backyard and agricultural burning and land clearing. Exceptions include portable or permanent fire pits, fire tables, and small campfires as long as they are fully put out. Barbecue grills and smokers are generally also okay. And the Oregon State Ethics Commission has decided it will not launch a full probe into complaints against Governor Tina Kotek and First Lady Amy Kotek Wilson. This all has to do with the role of the first spouse. You may recall the governor came under scrutiny earlier this year for reportedly trying to create a formal office for the First Lady. The governor later said an official office was off the table and that she would seek guidance from the Ethics Commission. So today, in a 4-4 split vote, the commission decided there was not enough evidence to find the governor or the First Lady had violated ethics rules. Tonight, we are following a landmark decision from the U.S. Supreme Court, which ruled 6-3 that regulations and enforcement around homeless camping do not constitute cruel and unusual punishment. This case actually originated in Southern Oregon in Grants Pass and could have major implications when it comes to laws around camping and the consequences for violating those rules. Though, as Blair Best explains, in Oregon, some say a state law is now standing in the way.
Early Friday morning, the U.S. Supreme Court decided punishing people for sleeping outside when there is nowhere else to go does not violate the Constitution, a move one might think would radically change how Western cities respond to the homeless crisis. But not exactly, especially here in Portland.
We still have to comply with the state law.
That state law is House Bill 3115, requiring Oregon cities to create their own rules around homeless camping, and they must be reasonable, taking into account available shelter.
Then the question for the legislature is, do they then want to revise or get rid of House Bill 3115?
A Portland City Commissioner and mayoral candidate Rene Gonzalez says if elected, he would push the state to be more in line with the Supreme Court ruling.
Huge problem for the city of Portland. Really need Governor Kotek and the state legislature to fix their mistake here.
It doesn't appear Governor Tina Kotek will be doing that anytime soon. Her office sent KGW the following statement Friday, saying, regardless of the court's decision, we must do all we can to address homelessness. This includes addressing the primary driver of homelessness, our lack of affordable housing. A Portland City Commissioner and mayoral candidate Carmen Rubio, recently endorsed by Governor Kotek, held a similar stance, saying in part, quote, we must continue to think big and keep stepping up housing production. But some homeless advocates who work in Portland's Old Town neighborhood believe the Supreme Court ruling will eventually harm those living on our streets.
We do see this as like the first chipping away at the rights that we've worked so hard for.
We still have a lot of people in our community who are suffering.
It's just furthering the criminalization of poverty. It's a continuation of the war on the poor, and we're only going to see this get worse until we make changes to our socioeconomic system.
I think we need to work together to find humanitarian outcomes that serves everyone's interests,
including people like Charles.
I'm a veteran, and I didn't fight for that.
In a tent on the sidewalk with nowhere else to go.
I'd like to see Clarence Thomas out here for a little while and see, how he feels about that.
Now again, this Supreme Court decision comes just 3 days before the city of Portland is set to enforce its ban on homeless camping, which follows state law, meaning that homeless people sleeping on our sidewalks could face jail time if they refuse the offer of shelter. However, if there isn't any available shelter, well, we could just see more of the same, unless there are changes to that state law. Blair Best, KGW News.
And straight ahead at 11 on this Friday night, an alleged dog napper caught on camera while the owner searching for his missing pup says he doesn't want the suspect to face charges. Plus, how a rare wildlife sighting at Cannon Beach left conservation experts feeling optimistic.
And what a great way to kick off the weekend. 80 degrees this Friday in Portland. Tomorrow, more of the same, making it up to about 78 degrees tomorrow afternoon. So what's next? A beautiful weekend and then a very hot 4th of July. Your 7-day forecast coming up.